Okay, YouTube, how are we doing? Looking good? Alrighty. Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to Smudcast number 193. This is the Ballad of Finn and Rose Star Wars TLJ video essay. So already, if you have your bingo card open, I think we have a fanboy of the TLJ variety. So that's a given. But let's just take a look at this person's channel. We watch video of any kind, any type. This is a small channel, has 3 subscribers, and he made this video back in May. That was 3 years ago, so 2018, and it's has about 340 views. So, no problem. We'll happily look at it and assess the value of it, what it's trying to say, and the quality therein. We don't know yet. We'll find out. I only watched a few minutes, and it seemed a bit interesting. I can't quite describe it. I hate using the word interesting, but it's just,
Interesting.
It's an essay, and it's not an essay. It's something else. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a 2-set violin reference.
Interessant.
Interessant. Yeah, I don't know. Hard to say. Anyway, he speaks a bit softly, so if we apologize if your volume is going to be jumping between us and him. So, sorry about that. It's just how it's going to go. And in case you can't see, Glib is on the channel, but he's having some technical difficulties as per usual. So don't worry about that. That's totally fine. That's totally normal. Anyway, let's get going. 30 minutes and 40 seconds. It'll take us about 2 hours and a half, I guess. I don't know.
Possibly.
Yeah. We'll find out. Anyway.
We have a chance.
Yeah, before we get freezing cold and to put on more blankets on our shoes or feet because they're out of reach of the microphone. Why didn't we prepare? I don't know. Anyway, let's get going.
It's pretty well known by this point that Star Wars The Last Jedi has provoked some passionate responses. The film's critical reception was, by and large, quite positive, and a great deal of fans seem to have enjoyed it as well.
Absolutely irrelevant.
The second film in Disney's
Look at how many
Wars
dislikes. Look how many dislikes each of those fucking positive reviews had. Like every single one of them had like hundreds of dislikes.
Yeah, I think every Rian Johnson tweet is always circumspect. Like, what the hell is he doing? What is he trying to say?
Just shut up, Ryan.
When I go pee and realize I'm wearing a button fly, you're like, yeah. And? I mean, there are button flies on pants. That's true.
What?
Is there a problem here, Brian? You forgot how those things operate? Anyway.
Really hated it, and they let you know. One of the more frequent criticisms of The Last Jedi, outside the insane cut all the women out of the movie fringe, concerns Finn's sub-story in the film. Even some who like the
movie a good version.
Less than thrilled about Finn and Rose's excursion to the Canto Bight Casino.
You know that isn't just the fact that there's women in it. Like it's not that's not the point. That's not why that exists. It's not just the fact that there's women in it. Like when you have this female commander character you're just supposed to like follow without question, and that's the moral of the story for Poe, is that he should just believe women, right? That's literally the moral of the fucking story, as far as like the creators of TLJ are concerned. You're just supposed to what you're supposed to take from that is, if there's a woman in position of authority, just obey them without question, even if it makes no fucking sense.
Just follow authority. Don't ask questions.
Yeah, but especially if that authority is a woman.
Yes.
You know? So there's a reason why people are watching and kind of going, and especially when they tell you that that's how they watch movies. That's how they watch movies. That they would, that they interpret stuff that way. So why would you not assume that they're writing it that way?
He only concentrates on the extremes. It's annoying.
Well, he attacked that film which cut out all the girls from the TLJ.
That's a fun cut. Like, I don't understand him.
It's great. I know. It's fun. Everything makes so much more sense.
To see it. I'm interested to see what actually ends up doing to the plot. Like, what does it actually look like if you actually do?
Yeah.
Because it obviously removes a lot of plot points.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like the Canto Bight plot point and like anything with Finn and Rose could just be cut out from the movie because they have like no relation on the movie.
Like,
so.
Yeah, it has no effect on the plot.
No effect. Yeah.
No effect on the characters really either.
Well, the fact that Finn was about to have a heroic sacrifice, and Rose had a heroic sacrifice, but they never died, and you're sitting there going, "Huh,
Dumb.
that was a waste of time."
So dumb. God.
So, even Rose's character as a whole. On the surface, it's easy to see where they're coming from.
All right, sorry I'm late. What's happening? What's going on?
Training.
Gaining a deeper
We
understanding.
are fighting.
See, swings a fucking lightsaber on a rock, and Luke hits her in the hand with a leaf.
God, Rey's just
that's her
so
training.
fucking hot, you guys. She's so sexy. Like, I'm so glad they picked the hottest person possible to put in their stupid, retarded movie.
What have I missed?
Canto Bight is good.
Rotten Tomato critics are believable. You should follow what they are saying.
And the 46 or
Any
40,
reason why?
no.
He didn't give any specifics.
And
Just an
the
appeal to it.
I mean,
the
Rotten Tomatoes, I think the only use it ever has is to gauge whether an audience has liked it or not. It doesn't mean it's good or bad. I don't even listen to the critics.
Yeah, I really don't like Rotten Tomatoes is good to get a general perception of the public, but I really don't care what critics think or do on Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, the critics think like The Orville is abysmal and terrible. It's like, it doesn't know what it's being. It's like, no, it's trying to be a parody comedy. That's what it's being. What the fuck you want about critics?
I don't like The Orville.
Well, then you're just big gay.
I don't enjoy it.
I haven't watched The Orville, and I probably won't.
But I bet I like it more than Finn and Rose. I'll tell you that much. Finn and
that's
Rose
true.
are basically just two people that do not have any chemistry whatsoever. And if you're going to hire people to do something in a movie that involves romance, they have to have some sort of chemistry.
Chemistry?
They have to at least be able to work together with some sort of personal affection.
I love the way they have that scene in Rise of Skywalker. Is like, Rose can't come.
Hey, friend. How's it going, friendy?
I've got something else to do.
Sorry, Rose, your friends.
I love that in the book, the novelization, they actually make it that Rose friend zoned Finn.
Oh, of course they do, because it can't be the other way around.
It doesn't make any sense.
made it
but
work.
it's like, I just got caught up in the moment, and sorry, I don't like you in that way.
I just kissed you on the lips and fainted because last thing I wanted to do.
I actually want to. I want to follow the older sister. She looks like a way cooler character.
Well, she doesn't have a character, which already puts her above Rose Tico.
Can't believe we're still talking about this movie 40 years later. Amazing.
I can't believe we're talking about this relic from the ancient times.
The Last Jedi came out 90 years ago, and we're still talking about how bad it is.
From a less civilized time.
Can you imagine the Star Wars movies from in 30 years from now? Like just how ridiculous they're going to be.
Oh, it's gonna be. I remember it's gonna be a clown Jedi fighting a foot fetish mommy monster.
Dig up these, YouTube servers.
Tarantino movie?
Yeah.
They dig up these YouTube servers that just have terabytes of just Last Jedi videos. It says, what is this movie? They keep talking.
It's like 1,000 years later or something.
Yeah. Oh, they find
no. Aliens find the wreckage of humanity.
Yeah.
And they dig up this server, and it's like, hey, they really didn't like this TLJ movie.
That must have been how they all died. They had a war about TLJ. It was about this religious text that they all had a war over. Clearly. Yes.
You see, humans, they worship this thing called Star Wars.
Yes.
Which actually wouldn't be too far away from the truth.
Oh my god.
Understanding of Karen, and Poe Dameron spends it struggling with his place in the Resistance and fighting to save the fleet from impending destruction at the hands of evil. You know, classic Star Wars.
Yeah, the evil is the Admiral. She's a fuckwit.
But the story never frames it that way, though. The movie wants you to think that she's completely in the right, and he should just shut up and obey authority, which is the most anti-Star Wars thing I could possibly think of as like a moral of the story. Like a Star Wars movie where the moral of the story is just shut up and obey authority.
Yeah.
But obviously, no, the reason why she doesn't tell him the plans is because she thinks he might be a spy. You know, the guy that blew up the super weapon of the First Order. He's a possible spy,
If you're gonna
according
think
to people.
surely if you're going to think someone's a spy, it would be Finn.
Yeah, he used to be in the First Order.
And they
Well,
surely if they were going to think anyone's a spy, it would be Finn.
Where does this fucking spy theory even originate
I know, it's
from?
just bullshit.
Like,
It's not
I
a
don't
fucking
know.
movie. It would have made it a better movie.
It would have made more sense, like, if... I mean, not total sense, because, again, the Poe destroyed the Starkiller base. If there was, like, okay, we have to hunt down the spy. Poe thinks it's Admiral Holdo. Admiral Holdo thinks it's Poe, and then twist reveal it's someone else. Sure, and then
It's
that would make
Rose.
sense
It's
why
Rose.
there is a
It was
conflict.
Rose the whole time, and that's
Oh
why they go
my
to Canto
God.
Bight
Anyway,
to
that-
distract them and cause them
that would have been a good story.
Well,
That would have given like a much better conflict than, I don't know, Holdo just doesn't tell the plans.
well, this has to
Why?
do. Yeah, this has to do with the
Fuck
tension
knows.
of the scene.
Fuck
So,
you.
why is Holdo so not paying attention or not caring about all these other factors? So there has to be some tension. Is she thinking irrationally? Is she thinking everyone's out to get her? Is there a spy among us? There has to be some aspect of her personality that is not cognizant or congruent with what's going on. We have to have something like that to make her reasonable, at least, because she's just there. And it's like, I think this. You're like, wait, what? Can you tell us why you think this? Why are you doing these things the way that you're doing them? There's really no exploration.
She doesn't even say why she can't tell him the plan.
Well,
She doesn't even give him a reason to not tell them.
She
tell
does
the plan.
explain, but it's kind of flowery. It's kind of like this weird, hopeful message, and you're like, that's fine. But
If you only believe in hope, when you can see it, then you're not going to make it through the night or something like
yeah,
that.
right. And that's
Or if you don't
Believe in
believe
hope.
in the sun.
When you have a plan, you're never going to be as dumb as I am.
yeah, but they have to sell that to the audience, saying, okay, if she's like this weird, like faithful believer and stuff, and she's all like, we need hope, or else we're all going to die because we're on our last legs anyway. Then you have to run with that and play up that role. And she's getting really emotional, and she thinks there's a spy among her or whatever. Like, go with that angle, play it up. But she's not. She's nothing. She's just authority figure person. I say the hope is like the sun and whatever. It's like, that's it. That's all you are.
Get out of the way, you dumb male. It's time for tall, skinny women to do
I
all
guess.
the work.
Yeah. I don't know what
Trust
else.
long
Us.
necks.
You don't even know you're just a hothead, but I like you. But
Yeah.
listen, you need to get out of the way. Admiral Bitchface is here.
Unrelated note. So the screenshot that I'm looking at right now is the one. So with Finn with the weird like watery
Yeah.
thing that he wears, and
It's supposed to be like
That
a
was funny.
back to suit.
yeah. It reminds me of like how it's so dumb that he gets slashed across the spine, and he's just fine. Like he's
Yes.
that's not a big deal at all.
Losing an arm to a lightsaber, not that complicated. Spinal damage? Oh,
yeah.
jeez.
That
Like,
went right through his
there's
spine.
no
like
consequence
disintegrated
for
it.
that. No consequence for that whatsoever.
Yeah.
If you really want him to be walking again, I don't know, give him some spinal surgery and robo spine or something.
yeah. Give him a cane.
Do something. Don't just the lightsaber did nothing, no damage whatsoever.
Have him limp around with a cane. He's really scared. He has to run away, and he's limping, and you can't. Like, that would be perfect. Yeah.
Like he has to have make it so that he has to have some role that is different than what he's used to, which is just combat basically, or It still annoys me that they made him a janitor.
They could have, if he was a janitor, they could have like have him mop the floor because of all this water leaking everywhere. Like, oh shit, what am I gonna do?
Oh god,
I don't know what to do.
Rebels demote him to janitor.
Well, yeah, if he's gonna be a janitor and he's scared, he doesn't know what to do. Have him do the thing that he's used to doing, and then you see him shrivel up in the corner, scared or what? Like, give him something, not just "Where's Ray?" Right?
It's
like
such a hand wavy, just like oh yeah, whatever. It's just oh yeah, he can walk. Yeah, whatever.
Finn, on the hand, ventures off with Rose to a casino to find a master codebreaker, where they get arrested for a parking ticket, meet another guy who can do the exact thing they need, set some animals free, break onto the First Order ship, fail at the job they were supposed to do there, escape on a shuttle, and go join the rest of the rebels.
Swear to fuck if you say it's about the theme of failure.
Compared on its face to the other plot lines in the film,
Wait for
Finn's quest in The Last Jedi seems kind of odd and inconsequential. But if you dig deeper into the Ballad of Finn and Rose, there's purpose to be found. The Canto Bight adventure tests Finn in new and interesting ways, giving him the opportunity to decide what's truly important to him and what sort of man he wants to be.
Yeah, he wants to be the type of person that frees animals but leaves children enslaved.
That's my kind of man. That's badass as fuck.
Wow. Yeah.
If those kids really wanted to be free, they'd fight for it, but they clearly don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What if those animals really wanted to be free? Then they would fight for it.
Clearly, Rian Johnson is trying to tell us that child trafficking is okay, but animal trafficking is bad.
Yeah, well,
I get it.
Slavery is a choice. Kanye West was right.
Absolutely.
Animals
Absolutely.
first.
And Daisy Ridley, she just quit social media because it's bad for her mental health or whatever. It's like, great. You should also you should have quit this movie before you did it. Would have been better for your mental health.
When people ask like, oh well, what would you have done for the sequel trilogy instead? I would have not done it at all.
I would have been like Jesus going through the temple where all the people, the moneylenders were. I'd be like, no Star Wars for you. Get out of here. You're just selling indulgences.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think there is plenty of room to make a sequel trilogy. It's just that this sequel trilogy fails so abysmally. There are so many plot lines which you can continue from, like Return of the Jedi.
Are there? Really?
Yeah. Okay. So really? What was it? Where we got the relationship between Han Solo and Leia?
Who gives a fuck about that?
Well, they're the main fucking characters.
Who cares if they get married? Who cares
about
kids?
The main characters? And
they're gonna get they got their happily ever after. Who cares now?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's over. We did it. We blew this thing and went home, kid.
That's the problem, because like essentially you can't really make like new villains because you killed the final boss.
Or no, you have like a fucking sitcom that's just Han and Leia.
Honey, I'm home. Did you bring the fucking shit? Oh shit! I hate you, Han. No, nobody gives a fuck. And then what's Luke gonna? It's the only plot thread we have after that is Luke is gonna train some new Jedi, and you can play with that if you want. But like,
well, no, because there's the New Republic. There's the what's left of the Empire, the Imperial remnants. What happens to those? What happens to the New Republic? What happens to Han and Rey? What happens to Luke?
Where? In the OT, in the OT, let's say, for example, when they were planning to do something after that, like, right? There's no factions that we would see that would really be affected by this, because like you have Cloud City, right? That's a location we've been to. If we saw what the future of Cloud City was, it'd be Lando running a fucking city or whatever. If we saw the future of what Tatooine would be, it would just be Tatooine without the huts.
Not just talking about the planets, like the actual factions themselves. Okay,
I know. I understand.
What happens to the rebellion? Where do they go from here? What happens to what happens to the Empire, the remnants of the Empire? And there are plenty of stories in the past in the EU which have said, okay, what happened to these? And then they've gone off and undone their own thing, and they've told wonderful stories.
Cost-benefit analysis.
Thing is, The Force Awakens takes anything you could possibly take, continuing on from Return of the Jedi, and throws it out the window. It is just who fucking cares? We're just doing New Hope again, even though it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Think about it this way: cost-benefit analysis. You either keep your happy ending from the end of Return of the Jedi, and that's the ending of the entire saga. You leave it on a high note, or you open it back up and risk all of these things going wrong or changes or whatever. And I always thought, yeah, you know what? You could do something with it. But when they were going to do it, and when I realized Disney was in charge, I went, oh no, we really shouldn't do this, because the benefit of it is going to be outweighed by the negatives. And I was off by a matter of magnitude.
Yeah, I wouldn't
it's
mind
so
the
bad.
Mandalorian if it was like good, like in concept. I wouldn't mind something like that existing. But it's the idea of having an actual trilogy or an actual movie. I don't think the kind of stories you'd be telling would make for the kind of movies that Star Wars is. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I don't
get what you mean.
You can continue onward, but is
big, like, bombastic, action-filled sort of saving the universe type story.
No, but there are still threats you can create without look, Emperor Palpatine's back. He's cloned. Or oh look, we have
I think they would
a ball bag that comes out of the unknown regions and just makes the Empire again.
That just sounds stupid, though.
Well,
unnecessary.
It sounds stupid.
In relation to,
it sounds stupid that you would have to invent a new villain in this happy ending. You're creating a new beginning. That's
no, but you can build off the old villains, like say what they did with Thrawn.
Yeah, but like that was interesting to me when we would still have the main characters at a younger age. When they came back to do it, it was 30 years later. So there was a bunch of time that was going to have to be passed, or we wouldn't be able to have our main characters. I would have been fine if we didn't have our main characters, but then they would really die, and we would never be able to integrate them back into the story. So it was better to just let it lie, unless they were going to do sequels immediately afterwards, before the prequels existed. That would have been the right time. The 1990s was the perfect time to do more Star Wars, but they didn't want to do it because George was busy raising kids, which is arguably more important.
In relation to...
Yeah, you can't really request any of those main characters from the OT. They're just too memorable. Like, they tried with the Solo movie, and it was a fucking failure.
They didn't even cast the right guy. They could have had Ingruber, who actually played Harrison Ford in another movie, and he did it really well. Like, you went, wow, this guy kind of looks like him, and he does a good impression of him. He wants to be the next guy that's like him. Why don't we fucking put him in the movie? No, we're going to cast this person that somebody met at a bar mitzvah. But he looks nothing like him and is short and has a hairline that's already worse than Harrison Ford's. Let's go with that guy. Thanks, Kathleen. You're totally paying attention to what audiences want.
It wasn't like the intention of the first iteration of that movie, like a parody or a jokey tone. Like the duo that made
like originally it was made by two comedians or something.
I think like they were casting accordingly to that.
No, they cast based on what Kathleen suggested. They didn't cast based on what they wanted.
There was about 1,000
that's the whole
guys
problem.
in the casting. He was number one in the door. So it was kind of strange how they rationalized to choose him. And I don't know why or how. It's just that there must have been one other dude who sounded and looked better than he did.
Anthony Ingruber. We should watch that video really quick, just of him doing his little impression.
No, he's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good.
But shit, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so when they made the original trilogy, they did a casting session that was an open casting call to almost all of Hollywood. And what they did is they did scenes, and everybody would play a character in the scene. You read for this character, you read for this character. And they did not allow Harrison Ford, who worked at the time as a carpenter for Francis Ford Coppola at American Zoetrope. He was literally there doing a job every day, and he wasn't allowed to do it. So moving forward, they try Kurt Russell, they try Tom Selleck, they try all these different combinations, and then finally they say, all right, Harrison, do you want to read? Because he was literally working on a doorway that they would have to walk in through when they would go out to get coffee. And so then he's like, yeah, I'll read. So they put him and Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, together, and you can visibly see that the connection that they had was going for what George wanted. George was saying, I'm going to test out next to Brian De Palma, one of my friends, and get his input. And we're going to cast for Carrie and A New Hope at the same time. And hopefully in this pool of people, we'll find people. And there were people that were like Sissy Spacek was going to be Carrie Fisher's role, but instead she did Carrie with Brian De Palma. So you had a lot of opportunities for different characters to play different things. Harrison Ford was the last guy to be picked for Han Solo. They tried everybody else. Contrast that with how they got Harrison Ford's replacement. They picked the first guy that they met and wanted for the role, and fuck everybody else that might actually do a better job. That, in a nutshell, is how the new Star Wars works versus the old one. The old one is a bunch of contemporaries working together to try and get something done, trying everything possible before we actually hit the go button, preparing as much as possible, making sure that you actually see something before you produce it, and caring about if it looks good on camera. All of that out the window. All of it. And now we live in an era where critics are going to try and justify this sort of thinking because, wow, films are just so magical. The magic of cinema. Look at romance and drama. And I'm like, shut up, dude. We've done this for 100 years already. You don't have most of the commentaries and the political, not the political, but like the pop culture people, because it's now like a fucking crossover. Like BreadTube reviews and fucking Filmentos and all these different people. They're all trying to talk about how great and amazing the cinematic art form is while we're getting the worst quality of storytelling and foundational qualities of cinema in history are happening now, not when the camera came out. There was better stuff being made then than we have now. And it's just depressing to hear people big up how great everything is when people that are studied the foundation of writing, the foundation of storytelling, the foundation of film are criticizing things and looking at gigantic gaping holes.
So to bring it back to the plot of Canto Bight and Finn and Rose, their whole plot was predicated on a series of ifs. So if this happens, and if we can get this guy, and if we can go over here, and if we can do that, then we can do these things. The problem is Ryan didn't figure that last part out because they needed 6 minutes to leave the giant ship to go escape with the rest of the fleet, and 6 minutes would take way too long for them to run through the entire ship, go to the whatever escape pods or whatever they were using to get back to the fleet, and then escape with everyone to Lightspeed. So it goes to show you that either the concept of failure, and thus they wanted Finn and Rose to fail, which was the ongoing theme of the movie, to be obvious, or Ryan just did not care about the details of what they were trying to do in the first place, just to get them where they had to go so they could fail.
I love that even the film itself follows the theme of failure because it failed to be good.
Okay, that's a bit meta. All right. All right, let's keep going. Joe Crazy, the Ballad of Finn and Rose. Is this dude serious? I think he is. Joe Crazy again. Tom Selleck as Han Solo. That would be that would be a weird AU.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine Kurt Russell as Han Solo.
Whoa.
That's even crazy.
But the problem with the theme of failure is the theme supposed to be that failure is the greatest teacher, but Rise of Skywalker is really bad. So TLJ is bad, but then Rise of Skywalker is also bad. So where's the redemption arc? Where's the sort of see, we learned from our failures part, right? They don't have that.
We screwed up
my ass.
We failed once, we'll try again. Nothing like that. It's just everything works out.
Maybe it's the fact they're moving away from the sequel trilogy now.
We failed, and we're gonna keep failing.
We're gonna keep failing.
We failed, and we're gonna go do literally anything else. Everything. No, literally everything else. We'll throw. Fuck it. We'll do Ahsoka. We'll do Cassian Andor. We'll do Rogue Squadron. We'll do. I don't know. Hey Jeff over there. We'll give you a fucking Netflix show and a Disney Plus show. There you go. We need more. Anything else?
All right, let's keep going.
It also used the character of Rose to show the audience why the survival of the Resistance is so important.
Why?
What?
Why is it important? They don't help. They're not fighting for these people. The New Republic, which they were supporting, for some reason allowed child slavery. The New Republic that they want to bring back isn't going to solve this problem, obviously.
I'm not even sure what he's talking about. Rose is important to these kids?
The Resistance is important to these people or something.
Rose shows why it's important by the goals of the Resistance.
Yeah, but that was just a side mission. That was just a thing to have a bunch of kids go, oh, a decoder ring, ooh. And then JJ did nothing with it.
Well, it's because JJ, I remember hearing in one of the reviews, I think it was Weekend Warriors review, he was like, I like the thing how it has the arrow on it and how it points right at it, and so they just stuck with it. You know what I mean? Because everybody's just like, all right, whatever. JJ says it's okay. Moving on. Let's
the
just keep
knife.
going. Yeah, the stupid knife thing that doesn't make any sense. Like nothing JJ makes any sense, and the fact that he got backed into a corner by his own dominance of the creative industry. The fact he's known as the it guy for action movies that are sort of nostalgic, that put him in the position where he had to actually come up with something. It's garbage. And now people see that the TEDx talk where he's talking about the mystery boxes and how everything is just a chain of mystery boxes shows that he's like the film version of clickbait.
It's
Nothing
funny,
he sets up is ever going to pay off the way that you really want it to pay off.
I've been watching Lost.
Well, I don't think it's clickbait. I think that's a bad analogy. It's just really fucking stupid and bizarre and batshit insane.
Well, no, I think the idea of the
It's
mystery
not
box
insane.
is basically
It is.
No, it's
Because
not insane.
it's like, okay, he completely misses out. Okay, so he goes, okay, people love mysteries, but then he misses the important part of the mystery and the resolution, what it is, and he thinks, okay, if I take away the resolution and what's inside the box, and then obviously that's just going to make it better. It's like, what the fuck do you mean? No, it isn't, because you have sex without the climax.
Well, he thinks that the build up,
and then no.
The idea of it is more important.
And then he fills the entire film with mystery boxes all over the place, everywhere. Just mystery box there, here, over there. Who fucking cares at this point? Just all of them. Every character has a mystery box. No, give him 5. His kids and his family, make sure they get mystery boxes for Christmas. They're just empty boxes with nothing inside.
Wow. But how did it make you feel?
How did it feel when you opened up your Christmas present and there was nothing inside?
No.
But you thought you were going to get something good inside.
Shiny. He never opened up the mystery box. That was his whole point, was that it didn't matter what was in it. What mattered was the mystery. And he's stupid about it because while that is important, resolution for a plot is more important to get your film finished, to get your story finished. But what I'm trying to suggest is that his success is that he realized it's not based on whatever he delivers, it's based on the hype that surrounds whatever he's creating. So that's why Lost worked. That's why Fringe was popular for a while. It lasted. That's how he got away with it for so long. Because he was making all these promises. And I'm sure he did this in business too, where he was like, yeah, it'll be like this and like this. And he never had to cash the check. It's like Catch Me If You Can. He can just rip shit off and then move to the next position, and nothing will catch up with him. And what he does is he then, hold on a second, he backs up his team with the B team, all the Kurtzmans and the Orseys and all the people that he brings with him. He's very loyal to these people and incorporates them. Even when they fuck up, he doesn't get rid of them. So they stick by him. And his production company, Bad Robot, and all the stuff that he put together is all there to enforce his control. So he sets it up, and then they have to be the ones to back it up. He's never the guy that finishes it. But with Rise of Skywalker, he bit off more he can chew because Disney's a bigger corporation than him. They may depend on him for making directorial decisions in the immediacy, but they don't really need him. Their necessity for him is just based on convenience. But his necessity is based on hype. So he has to keep that hype up. But now with Rise of Skywalker, he ruined all of that. And the consequences from that are only going to expand from there.
I think it works, the mystery box thing, it works better in a TV show where you can string them along for really long compared to a trilogy where you know it's a trilogy from the get-go and you know exactly when the ending is supposed to be shown to you. Whereas with a TV show, you don't even know exactly how long it's going to be. You know, you're in season 3 and you don't know how many seasons are going to be. You're still like, okay, there's still time. There's still time to resolve it, you know. I've been watching Lost recently, and I can really see the J.J. Abrams isms.
Exactly.
You know, that you can then see in the sequel trilogy, and you can really see like, oh, he's
all
always
of it.
been like this. Yeah.
It's always been like that. If you go back to even his earliest work, and Lost especially, I remember, and I never forgot it because Lost was so extraordinarily hyped at the time that it came out. And I remember watching the first episode and going, okay, I know why people got into this, but at the point at which I remember watching that episode, it was after the whole show was over. So now when I knew what the ending was watching the beginning, I was like, oh, it's like Game of Thrones. Who gives a fuck about the
Yes,
ending?
Yeah.
It's all about riding the natural hype of a TV show. The first couple seasons, people don't expect it to be necessarily too great, but oh wow, look at the ideas of this. It's really caught my interest. And then the show's maturing. And then by the time the season 6 or whatever comes around and people don't really care about it that much, you can just kind of slowly retreat away from it because it doesn't matter at that point.
Like I've never watched it before, and I've literally just watched it, and I pretty much just finished it. And it's weird because it's still entertaining. It's still entertaining for a lot of it, but the payoffs it just gets so dumb. Any of the things that it does pay off, but a lot of it is just. I don't know.
All right, let's keep on going.
First, before we saw the erases and red plum blooms, we need a bit of context. Let's start with the basics. Who is Finn? Until very recently, Finn was a stormtrooper. It's difficult to pin down exactly how much time passes between the end of The Force Awakens and the opening of The Last Jedi, but by the time Finn wakes up in the bacta suit, it's been, let's say at the most, 2 weeks since he deserved.
No, dude, it's been like a fucking day, dude.
Yeah, it's like
at most it's been a day.
Yeah,
it's probably
like
more
hours.
likely been hours.
A day at
hours.
max.
Where's
It is like it takes place almost directly after the film before it.
okay. I think we all agree that's the case. At most,
It takes 7 years later.
yeah, at most 2 days. At most, I could stretch it, but beyond that,
yes. Yes.
Unconscious for a good chunk of that time, so it's only reasonable to believe that his life as a stormtrooper is very fresh in his mind. It's also the only life he's ever known, having been kidnapped as a child and conditioned to serve the First Order.
FN2187 reported to my division, was evaluated and sent to reconditioning.
No prior signs of nonconformity.
This was his first offense.
Why then did Finn desert? Well, he saw his stormtrooper unit slaughter a village of innocent witnesses and decided he didn't want to part in their reign of terror any longer.
So you're missing the whole janitor thing, and the fact that none of this even comes into his character.
I mean,
what would you expect from someone, a character like Finn, as far as we know, when he deserts the First Order? You expect him to be like grizzled. He's seen some shit, and there's damage there, but there isn't any damage. He's just a fucking buffoon and a joke, and they make him a janitor.
It really annoys me how you never get any sense that he had any friends, like in the First Order. Like you never get the sense that he like knew anyone. You know what I mean? Like it seems.
Yeah,
like
he just kills stormtroopers. Hey, that could have been Gary. The person with
Gary!
he had lunch
No!
with.
I love Gary.
Gary
Carol.
was really nice to me. Oh well, I just blew his fucking head off.
No. Not Gary.
No, it's Div. No.
And it's interesting how everyone knows that he deserted.
Save Gary.
Like there's all these other white helmet guys running around attacking him in episode 7, and they all call him traitor or whatever. It's like, do you know? Like there's like.
That was the most interesting character. The spinny fucking baton.
Whatever that guy was, yeah, he just throws his gun down. He's like,
It's a metaphor.
I'm gonna
for
hit you
police
with my stick.
brutality. It's a metaphor for police brutality because he has a baton, like the
That's a
police.
metaphor.
And he's black.
The black character. Wow, whoa, bruh.
That's deep, man. That's a theme right there.
But there's so many opportunities to have like some kind of character that is basically the equivalent of Finn, but who didn't leave. There could have been a really interesting conflict. But the fact that in the first movie, he's like already going, woo, yeah, as he's like slaughtering his former like comrades, people who went through the same thing as him, and he just doesn't fucking care at all. Not only
No, he
does
doesn't
not
give a
care,
shit.
but he
I love it.
celebrates. And it's just like, what the fuck?
He's
And
totally
you-
afraid of the First Order too.
He's totally like, oh no, I can't kill innocent people. But at the same time, he's a complete psychopath. Yeah.
Look, Finn is actually bipolar.
Bisexual.
He has.
He can't
split
decide if he wants
personality
Finn or
disorder.
Ray more. That would be great if Finn was like, I can't decide.
Finn
if I
wants
want more,
himself.
Poe
He
or
can't
Ray.
decide if he wants himself or Ray.
I
sense.
can't- It's like narcissism
Poe.
or Ray. Ray's just so amazing, but I'm also narcissistic.
He just looks in the mirror and is like, that's a very kissable face.
Another thing that he wants to tell Ray is, you're a fucking bitch. You know, he's just like, you're
Ray, I've got something to tell you. I hate you.
I'm fucking sick of your shit, Ray. Like,
yeah, what was that? That never got resolved. What was he gonna say to her?
Ray literally pushed him away.
But I think that's what Abram said, that it was supposed to be about being force sensitive or something.
Yeah,
Finn might be a dark lord of the simp.
Well, he's definitely dark. I mean,
like, Ray, I've been the Sith Lord behind everything.
So yes, wasted potential. My name is Finn, and
anyway,
yes,
like even
absolutely.
like a
best
few
character
seconds,
too.
Yeah,
like
best
even like
potential
just
character.
into meeting Ray, he then goes, "Hey, you got a boyfriend, a cute boyfriend?" Like
You got a
acting
boyfriend?
really
Cute boyfriend? I hated that.
stupid.
That was
And then
so
like
dumb.
he's got the old stupid comedic moments is like he gets thrown around. It's like, oh, isn't that funny? It's wacky. Oh,
it was super wacky.
just I don't.
Remember, though, is that Finn is not, at the start of The Last Jedi, a member of the Resistance. He more or less got roped into the quest to...
and yet he gets attacked for trying to leave the Resistance. Oh, you're a deserter. Back. It's like, wait, I'm not part of the Resistance. Why are you attacking me?
I believed you to be a hero.
All right.
to return B Resistance leadership, and then once Rey got captured, he agreed to help rescue her from Starkiller Base. But keep in mind that his ultimate goal has always been to get away from the First Order, not to help destroy them. Maz Kanata sums it up perfectly.
If you live long enough, you see the same eyes in different people. I'm looking at the eyes of a man who wants to run.
Who wants to get out of this movie contract.
You don't know a thing about me. Where I'm from. What I've seen. You don't know the First Order like I do. They'll slaughter us. We all need to run.
Finn is convinced that fighting against the First Order is more or less a suicide.
Finn was the
mission,
smartest
and
person in the
belief is
scene.
far from unreasonable.
Yeah.
Their strength in the galaxies
Like 5 minutes later, they get bombed or something.
Cult-like devotion they encourage among their soldiers. Though the Resistance managed to destroy Starkiller Base, Han Solo died in the process, and Finn nearly lost his own life trying to fight off Kylo Ren.
Why did he not?
At the opening of The Last Jedi, Finn is still very much the man who wants to run. He likes the Resistance. Likes
No.
the
The man who wants to come.
regard him as something special. But he still can't imagine
his
a future
motivation
where
is
the
to
rebellion
save Rey.
is
Man who wants
under
to
the
cool.
heel of the First Order's boot.
What do you mean? This is so
sympathetic
dumb.
to-
Like, why is the First Order the one with the boot? You know, and the heel. Like, why is the Republic have like fucking nothing? Well, it's just
It's so
They
dumb.
didn't have a navy. Why?
what it should have been.
Fuck
like,
knows.
It should have been more like if you've seen Gundam, the Xeon in Gundam is a much better example of what the bad guy could have been like in this kind of setup where you have basically the good guys have this powerful faction and the bad guys have a sort of less powerful function, but they're willing to do more evil things, and that's how they're able to get the upper hand, kind of thing. And it's just so bizarre that they're literally just the Empire. It just makes no sense.
It would be more interesting if they were like a guerrilla faction. That way,
Yeah.
you know, actually having... So if you remove the Resistance, actually have the New Republic versus the First Order, and the First Order is a terrorist cell.
Yeah, they should be.
And then they have to... It's like fighting up.
They get bigger and bigger. That's what I want. I want them to become like... I wanted Sith ISIS. I wanted a dark religion worshipping death and destruction. So you could have Jedi fighting like sensitive people, and you could have people that are just like regular, like we just love the Sith because we believe that oppression and everything Anakin believed in was right, like dictatorship. And Kylo Ren is our anointed leader because he's got the dark side and will finish what the Sith started, like all that stuff.
Yeah, that's what we
I
thought.
think one of my ideas for the sequel trilogy was to have the First Order again be a terrorist cell, but then the Imperials are fractured, they're all over the place. They're ununified, and the First Order is one of these factions, and they managed to unify the entire Empire back together from their little factions to turn them against the New Republic.
Well, when we were introduced to the Knights of Ren, that was sort of what is this group of Jedi, dark Jedi, doing things that Kylo is a part of? He's called Kylo Ren. What does that mean? Are they a facet of that? But by that time, we see the First Order, this gigantic army out of nowhere for no reason aside from we need a gigantic army to represent Episode 4. And it just is, there's no explanation, there's no build-up. It's just evil guys are now big. And the Republic is incompetent. If not incompetent, it doesn't care. And we don't know why.
We're under attack by the big.
We just lost a solar system. It's like, yeah. That's one solar system. Like, yeah, it's compared to the galaxy, it's pretty small, but still, it's a solar system with like 7 planets or whatever. Isn't that kind of a lot of life? A little more catastrophic than what happened in Episode 4?
It's so weird because you see in the prequels, you see the situations where you have... They're all supposed to be like representatives of different like planets, basically. Yeah. And you've got this fucking like probably like thousands of people. They're all like representing different planets. And so where are all these planets that were...
The Senate chamber is gigantic, and then JJ goes, doesn't matter. We don't really care.
It's like 7.
The universe of the sequels is just so small.
Yeah, it's just so...
Well, they don't do any world building.
Yeah, absolutely none. Like
they do negative world building. It's literally doing no world, but they literally.
I can't even remember the planet that the first Episode 7 where they landed on to capture Poe. I don't even remember what that was about. Something about a map.
Hey, Smud. Yeah. Can you invite Voice? He wants to join.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay.
I know Noise in the radio wants to talk.
Okay,
with his weird accent.
All these crazy accents from around the world.
I know. We're just so diverse. I hate it.
I just can't stand all these English speaking people not speaking English. My English. Well, he'll get here eventually. Anyway.
Hello, voice in the radio. Hello. Please pick up the phone, please. Hello.
To them, wary of making a commitment he might not survive. So, in order to save his own life and lead Rey out of the First Order's path, he decides to jump ship. And then he runs into Rose. Rose Tico is every inch the true believer that Finn is not. She and her sister Paige, after experiencing the tyranny of the First Order on their home planet,
that was a weird choice of words,
in order to make the galaxy a more just place. After Paige's death in the attack on the Dreadnought, Rose feels especially insulted by Finn's desire to run away from the cause she's sacrificed so much for.
Is he not allowed to leave?
No, he's not. He's a captive of the commissariat because she's a political commissar of the resistance. Very socialistic.
You know, for someone with
allowed to help Rey, that like, hey, this is a trap. Don't come here.
Well, for someone who had a spinal injury, I'm amazed there's no doctors or anything. I know you're in an emergency scenario, but wouldn't a doctor be like, "Oh my God, we got to stabilize this guy. We're getting attacked." No, we'll just throw his bed into like a storage room.
Oh, we fixed it.
Just throw him in the closet.
Put him in the back to tank. He'll be fine. But we don't have a back to tank. Just put him in the suit. It's cheaper.
It's like
it'll fuse his spine together. Don't worry about it, you fucking idiots.
Budget genius. Back to tank.
Yeah.
Back to suit.
If you had back surgery, knee surgery, you'd have like a doctor looking after you every step of the way. I don't care what your scenario is, if you're in war or a flight surgeon or whatever. It's like, yeah, a doctor would be looking at you.
He's easily just back up and
yeah, it's like no problem. Anyway, Joe Crazy, thank you. The Knights of Ren were dark Jedi. I don't know. Then why didn't they utilize the Force? Good question. They didn't seem any better than those Red Guard grunts. No, they were worse than the Red Guard grunts. They were just there.
Yeah.
I get nothing of that in Rise of Skywalker, honestly.
They were hyped. Well, originally, when I first heard of them, I was told that they were some of Luke's students which turn to the dark side with Kylo Ren.
Yeah.
But then in the actual film, they're not Force users. They don't have lightsabers. They don't do anything.
Do they even have?
They just okay. So there's a guy with a frying pan on his head. Kylo Ren shish kebabs him, and then that's it. They're just standing around, looking weird and awkward, and that's all we see of them in Force Awakens.
They don't have guns. They don't have any technology that we can say is like spaceman-like. It's just a bunch of guys with pole arms, with weird helmets, wearing black, and you're like, what the hell is this?
They're just a mini boss encounter.
I don't even know. They're worse than the Red Guard. In TLJ, the Red Guard, okay, they have a purpose. They're there to protect the Emperor, but the Emperor's so freaking powerful they don't have to do anything. And then he's dead. Now we got to go avenge him, I guess.
They're one job.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh crap. Now we're angry. We have to fight.
Why did none of them like point out that the lightsaber is like kind of slowly turning for some reason? Like,
yeah, it's like you're my lord.
Boss.
Boss.
I'm talking. I'm talking to the person. No, but boss. But gee, boss.
Hey, boss.
Hey, boss.
Hey, boss. Hey, yeah, boss. Do you got a plan? What do you mean hope is like the sun, boss? What do you mean?
What?
Even in the suffering on a massive scale, Rose's worldview is an essentially idealistic one. She believes that positive change can be achieved and that it's worth fighting for. Finn...
That's in slow motion, and like it's falling pretty fast. How does she have lightning reflexes to turn around and quickly grab it?
How does she have air in her lungs? She fell like 2 stories on her back. She'd be gasping for air for at least 4 minutes. Her
Force.
Yeah.
Also, why was she kicking the ladder when it would have been much easier just to climb and quicker to climb up and just pick it up?
I don't know. I think they think drop height, like the same thing with Rey in episode 7, where she gets thrown up against a tree, like 4 stories at least, and then comes crashing down and somehow gets knocked out. So her legs are smashed, her knees are whatever, but now she has a concussion as well. And all of a sudden just gets up after about 3 minutes after Finn starts fighting.
Yes.
Like, how? So yeah, drop height is a problem with these movies apparently.
You see, a good diet can do
good
wonders.
Diet. Gravity is no problem.
Like the fucking desert diet, like that food that she was eating there.
Yeah, the expanding.
Bread.
Bread thing. I don't know what the hell that was. I don't want to eat that. Jesus, it's all air. What the hell? It's yeast, instant yeast. Kaboom! Like, oh, thanks. That tastes like nothing.
Some good cardio in the morning.
There are stories that were written.
Oh.
And on the other hand, that the First Order can be beaten at all. With this ideological divide in mind, let's jump ahead to Canto Bight. Canto Bight, the lavish playground for the Galactic 1%, brings out new dimensions in both our heroes, effectively flipping the dynamic that's been established thus far. Finn, up to this point a wary skeptic, is stunned by the wealth and luxury all around him. It's likely that, in the course of his duties as a stormtrooper, he's never experienced a place like this, where pleasure reigns supreme and fear and desperation are nowhere to be found. The only evil he's equipped to recognize is the overt Nazi-esque fanaticism of the First Order.
Just being
Rose,
rich
the
in and of
spirited
itself.
idealist of the two, sees through the slick veneer right.
Yeah, what the fuck? Being rich is evil?
Yes.
Yeah.
Having wealth instead of just giving yourself to the hive. Yeah, absolutely. How dare you?
No one who is ever poor did anything wrong. It was all the rich's fault.
This goes against the 70th rule of acquisition.
It's the systemic institutional systems of institutional systemicism.
It's a
That's
lavish
systemic systemism.
It's a lavish
Absolutely.
casino, therefore bad. I don't get it.
Yeah, well, they're the people that made their money there. They made their money selling weapons. So That's bad.
Why can't they make their money through literally anything? I mean, I don't even think selling weapons is bad. But even if we say, sure, selling weapons is bad, whatever.
To both sides.
How have all those people? How do you know they've only made money? All of these people, every single one of them, all those people in the crowd who are rich, all of them made money from weapons. None of them from, I don't know, luxury cruises or holidays. None of them from, I don't know, a business selling airlocks.
Do they wait a second?
Are making ships.
None of them from the best-selling mobile game Raid Shadow Legends.
Well,
my
okay.
favorite legend, Raid Shadow Legends.
The assumption is they make money from weapons, but do they treat the animals poorly, or is it just like this is how you normally treat these giant dog horses? Like, is this normal behavior?
By the way, those are totally uncanny valley horses. By having the weird faces and the horse body, oh my god, it's so bizarre to look at.
Well,
it reminds me of that weird horse?
It's got like an owl face.
It's hard to say because
I can't remember what it's called.
When you look at it, it kind of reminds me of a dog. So the assumption is it has a feelings of a dog. Therefore, you're mistreating it as opposed to the feelings of a horse. Like look at a horse, like is he like happy, sad? I don't know. I can't understand horse faces.
Well, horses always have long faces, so you know they're always unhappy.
So it's hard to identify. But when you see this big, giant dog-headed whatever critter, you're like, is it sad? Is this like normal? Do you have to domesticate it this way? Do you have to use electric prod things because they're gigantic? They would jump on you and kill you. So you have to use something powerful to stop them. But does that mean they're being mistreated? I don't know. This could be normal. This could be how you domesticate them.
I mean, do they have like particularly evident scars that are like, oh, look how scarred they are from being whipped and stuff?
The only thing we get is Rose. Oh, now it's good because we freed them. It's like, wait, do they want to be like? That's what I mean. I talk about a horse. A horse is pretty happy just to be standing around wherever, eating hay, running about, running around in the dirt. Horses love the dirt. They just run around. They're having a great time. So what's wrong with them running around? Time. Yeah, no, horses are great. They're great.
Yeah, no, I get you.
And like left to their own devices, I mean, what are they going to do? What's their dream?
Yeah.
What is the thing that they want to achieve? Like
they want to be free. They want to run in the hills and be brilliant and magical. It's to free the animals. Oh my god!
We're just applying all of these like human.
Right. So the idea is animal husbandry or domestication of animals gives us a value to the thing we're domesticating, so that they have better lives, they're healthy, so they can do whatever it is we want them to do, like run around a track or whatever. So by virtue of owning capital that happens to be a horse or a horse dog or whatever, I don't think these lavish people are
dog.
Whatever. I don't know what they're called.
It scares me though. I'm just saying.
I know.
Oh my god, a horse dog? What's that?
What I'm talking about is these people who own these things treat them as property. They're valuable to them. They don't just beat them up and kill them, or you're not running very quickly. I mean, if you look at the horse races,
trying to put you down.
Well, okay. If you look at horse races, they treat them like gold. Yeah, they treat them as race horses. They are, but they whip their asses all the time. They
make them run fast.
They don't feed them entirely once a day. An apple to them is like a treat. You know, they're eating all what they need to be better at their job. There's an entire science behind making racehorses. So we don't get to see all these details, but the assumption is they are racehorses. So my brain goes, okay, what does a racehorse do, and how does it grow, and why are they treated like gold? So we only see a little. Like maybe this is like their cheap entertainment. Oh, look outside, the horse dogs are running around the track. Like, do they? I don't know.
I can't believe those fucking rich people in their horse racing. They just want to see people ride horses. Like, what's wrong with them?
Yeah.
Horse boy go fast? Why?
What's
the matter with you? Let that horse run free in the hills. Right. Oh my god!
There was no degree. Well,
I also
assume
it's part of the gambling.
I know, but there was no degree of
who
pageantry.
cares?
That's what I mean. When you look at the horse races, there's all this paraphernalia. There's all this regalia regarding number 1, number 2, number 3. There's a name. You have all these things, the jockeys and all the things they do. So yes, there's a lack of information regarding what I would like to have seen, which is the culture of this track, whatever this thing is. And we don't get that. It's just bad because they're dirty, and there's just things around them that look like a pen, and that's it. So, and Rose says they're just they're just slaves or whatever they are, and now that they're free, it's better. We freed them. It's like, really? See, we don't have.
And then imagining that captive creatures can like return to the wild with there being no consequences, like.
There's no
know
detail.
about that one, Chief.
Yeah, there's no detail for going to A to Z so quickly. You're like, is this good? Is this bad? Are they losing something? Are they going to starve? What's happening? So we need more detail on this world for Rose to make this comment like, now it's better. It's like, is it really better? I don't know. Which is an unnecessary amount of information. Sorry about that, but I just wanted to know more about why this was bad, because the by virtue of being rich, you're not bad. By virtue of selling weapons does not make you bad, and by virtue of owning racehorses or whatever is not bad. So
right away. She knows that greed and the exploitation of labor can destroy lives as easily as a blaster can.
Oh my God, that's
Wow.
so true. Anything.
I don't know. I
Life,
think
though, really.
a blaster can end a life a bit easier.
Oh, the capitalization got me in the heart. Oh,
capitalism.
my labor is being bleeding out of me.
Let me just mark that capitalism bad. Oh, it's on the bingo card. Here we go.
Wait, sorry. What is it? Labor exploitation and capitalism's no match for a good blaster at your side.
The First Order stripped our ore to finance their military.
Like, you don't know how much pain that actually causes.
Right, we don't know.
By explaining why she hates the gaudy excess of Canto Bight.
They look like they have pretty
God,
thick
this-
skin.
That guy has a tuxedo on. What a fucking loser. I hate that guy. Oh my God, what a square. Everybody should just wear mouse suits all the time, like me. Rose Tico.
Her brown shirt. Yeah, her literal brown shirt.
Yeah. Her little
Potatoes.
what is it, bag that she wears? Her like jumpsuit, engineering outfit that just gives her no sexual energy whatsoever. That's the way that people should dress.
Well,
no, they need to make her look greasy and extremely fat, even though the
Disgusting.
actress isn't fat or greasy at all.
Well, this is the
Right,
problem
exactly.
with most of the Star Wars ships. Like, everyone's just using a normal helmet, using normal clothes. There's no actual space suits, I've noticed. It's all just, whatever. Pressurization's not a problem. Oxygen's not a problem. It's just put clothing on, put helmet on, you're a spaceman, as opposed to an actual spacesuit with a space helmet.
Yeah, it's a bit sort of vague. It's not as bad as like Treasure Planet, where they just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They just don't care.
Yeah.
This is the same problem we had with breather masks or whatever in Mass Effect. They just walk out of the alien environment and just like, yeah, I put a little mask on your face to breathe oxygen. It's like, how about your eyes? How about your ears? How about your skin? Like,
wasn't the law that they created some Mass Effect field around the user or something?
For shields, yes, but that doesn't protect against air pressure. That was the problem with Mass Effect, is that in Mass Effect 2, you create that bubble babe at the suicide mission. It's like, wait a second, Mass Effect fields don't block against slow-moving target or objects. So how are you going to stop these seeker swarms from getting to you if that's not a thing? So sort of broke the whole concept of what the Mass Effect fields were. But yeah, you see stuff like this. You see the X-Wing fighters, the same idea. It's like they're not wearing spacesuits. They're just wearing jumper suits with normal helmets.
Bite so much. Rose encourages Finn to be more actively critical of his surroundings. His outlook, shaped by the stark moral worldview of the First Order, has finally begun to expand. Speaking of differing viewpoints, now's as good a time as any to tackle DJ. Just as Rose represents one of Finn's potential paths, the path of dedication to the Resistance, DJ shows Finn that extreme self-interest is another viable option.
DJ!
Unlike Finn, whose lack of ideological character is due to his intense fear of the First Order, DJ is a hardcore cynic who believes that struggling for someone else's benefit is pointless. He's convinced that picking a side at all, no matter which side it is, means giving up in a sense.
I don't think that's rather cynical. I think it's rather just realistic. He's like, don't join wars, do what you're like, do your job, but don't get involved. Be a businessman. You could call it cynical, but I wouldn't go that far. A cynic would
I
be...
like how the Canto Bite thing introduces the gray area of the show, like what you're saying. So basically the whole thing is the selling of weapons to both sides. That's Canto Bite. But then DJ is kind of like of Canto Bite, right? Like he's exactly the same thing. He'll sell you out to whatever side is convenient to him. And the First Order just happened to be convenient. And they trusted him, even though after he told them not to be doing that. So our characters are just dumb. They're just fucking dumb. Whatever happened to going to find the guy that they were looking for?
Remember when there was a theory that DJ was Ray's father?
Oh,
that'd be hilarious.
What?
She's nothing like Benicio.
That was a theory for a while.
Wow, Ray's Puerto Rican? Holy shit,
oh
dude.
my God. Well, at most...
I don't understand how she has a British accent, but accents seem to be just like
oh God,
a thing that where you're just I don't care about the accent.
Yeah, how'd you get a British accent on a fucking desert planet? Like nobody else talked with a British accent. What are you, dumb?
Unkar
Yeah.
Unkar Plutt barely speaks in a British accent. 1/4. So she should have been going, my name is Ray.
That's what's happening.
I would like one more quarter portion, Uncle Butt.
So the best thing we could say about DJ is he's an opportunist. I don't see him as a very cynical guy, though. It's just business to him. So he's also a bit tripped out on whatever the hell he's smoking. So I don't know what the hell's wrong with him, but
he's out there. Hey man, you gotta smoke this death sticks, man.
He is. Yeah, he's.
Do you want to buy some death sticks?
Not getting enough sleep or something. I don't know. He's twitchy, and it's like, what is up with this guy?
And he's got like a Jughead hat on for some reason from Archie Comics.
Essential free.
Finn, let me learn you something big. It's all a machine, partner. Live free, don't join.
To a committed rebel like Rose, this idea would likely come across as selfish, amoral nonsense.
Really? I don't see that at all. I see that more like that move. What is it? The "Don't Tread on Me" folk from the States. They're just like, this is all one big giant machine. The government don't get one side or the other. Just live as free as possible. Like that's how I got it. And if things get bad, say, hey, I'm not involved. I'm just helping out, just doing a job. Sorry. That's what he did. He saved his own skin. That would be selfish, yes. But at that point, no, we don't know that.
But to Finn, most of his life in the clutches of a machine, escaping mere weeks ago, this kind of libertarian worldview can't help but be a little...
Hey, he even said it.
If joining up with the Resistance is really as foolish as Finn suspects it might be, why join up at all? Is there really a difference between dying for one cause over another? Either way, you're dead. What sets Finn apart from DJ, however, is that Finn knows the value of loyalty and friendship. Ultimately, his fear of the First Order is outweighed by his devotion to his friends.
Really? He just shot all the people he grew up with.
Back into Starkiller Base, the very heart of the machine he just escaped, if it means rescuing Ray from a tight spot. He might be reluctant to take up the mantle of heroism at times, but he comes through and it matters most.
This is so unearned. This is so unearned. The whole, he knows the value of friendship. Fucking where? Where in the movie does he learn the value of friendship? Like, where in any of the movies?
Yeah, he gets caught up in that scene in episode 7 where he's trying to escape the First Order. He goes away. He sees Ray go the opposite direction, and then the First Order attack, and he gets caught up, and then that's where Maz gives him his lightsaber. And you're like, oh, so now he's fighting because he can't escape. So I don't like everything just gets caught up. He's about to leave, and then things happen. Same with Ray. She gets scared of the lightsaber vision. She runs into the forest, and she gets caught. And it's not them actively pursuing something. It's always negative reinforcement from the opposing force of the First Order or whatever. This is why these characters don't work well, because they're just reacting to everything's reactionary. It's just like, okay, this happens, and I got to do this now. This happens to my other friend. I got to go chase after them. It's like always, never choosing for themselves. Then you have episode 9 where Ray just does stuff. You're like, what? What's going on now? Oh, here's Avery. Entire trilogy is about Luke sucking at teaching. Let me think about that. Episode 7 to 9?
Not really. Yeah, in episode 9, he finally makes sense. but it's far too late for him.
I was wrong. It's like, oh, really?
Go back to the video. I'm still confused about how, like, Finn is. Like, why does he care about Rey? Someone he just met, and he's more than happy to like run away from pretty much anything. Like, have 5 seconds earlier.
Yeah,
he needs that ass, bro.
He was really close with Poe. They pretty much worked together to survive.
he really,
but
just wanted Rey
even
all
then,
himself.
Poe, he just met. Why are people just forming connections almost instantly, like they've been friends for years?
Well, that's a good question, but because he wants to escape the First Order and Poe is the guy who helped him, he would obviously have a strong connection to him, but he doesn't have one. He just
has so little like screen time, even.
Yeah.
With Poe, that it's just like, well.
I mean, you could fit it in better if you off screen. Oh, they've had a few years to get to know each other. Like he's known Rey for years, or he's known Poe for years in between the films. Sure, okay, then I could buy that they were friends. But from what we see in the movie, it's like, wait, why are they friends?
And it would be
like, how are they friends? They've just met each other.
It'd be way easier to do something like that if the First Order weren't in charge. Like, if they weren't this massive, powerful faction. Like, if they needed a little bit of time to regroup after defeating them in the first movie, or essentially, like, stopping whatever plot it was that they have in this hypothetical alternate version, it would be way easier to justify having them spend all this time together without a world-changing event happening in the meantime.
There's certainly a lack of relationships that are meaningful or motivational
Patching it through.
for Finn. With Rose, it's like, yeah, she's a hardcore rebellion person. We get it, whatever. But with Finn, it's like, which way is he going and why? Aside from wanting to help his friend Rey, for whatever reason. Joe Crazy, is this guy assuming that libertarians don't believe in friendship and loyalty? I
think he's conflating libertarianism and like basically just nihilism. I guess it's really weird.
I think that's a stretch to call them. The mentality is, don't join this crazy organization because the end result's the same, which is a pragmatic view. But because if DJ's aware of this, he's like saying, okay, well, there's good guy, bad guy, doesn't make a difference. You're still fighting in a war that's not yours.
It's all a machine, bro.
Yeah.
Fucking hippie.
Why are you
more
gay?
Selfless than selfish, and Rose comes to realize this over the course of their adventure. She also shows him through their efforts to defy the ultra-wealthy denizens of Canto Bight.
How is Finn selfish? He wants to save his friend, Rey. So he's about to launch himself into a what is that? What are they called? The escape pod?
Yes.
Where we have no idea. Just shoot him off somewhere.
He's gonna go save what he loves, not fight what he hates. But then Rose is like, "Oh, wait a minute. We have to save what we love, not fight what we hate." And so she saves him, which is the exact opposite of what she was saying she should do in the movie. So her arc is going from I do everything for the cause to, oh wait, I actually should do something for love, which is the exact thing that Finn wanted in the beginning, and she prevented it. Then when he decided the opposite and had his arc going from I'm going to be selfish to becoming selfless and doing it for the cause, she interrupts that with her arc. So their two arcs negate each other, and by the end of it is totally unnecessary. What his sacrifice would have been unnecessary because Rey just comes and saves the day anyway. So the whole thing was pointless. But everybody learned a lesson, and that's why Star Wars The Last Jedi is the best South Park episode.
Finn corrupted Rose with his ideology.
Big black ideology.
And then she friend zoned him when she woke up.
And then yeah, exactly. She friend zoned him, not the other way around, right? Yeah, that's what keep telling yourself that.
The novel says so, apparently. Anyway,
she uses a combination of gaslighting, flexing,
manipulation.
It's like years later. It's like no, I did. Was it you didn't dump me? I dumped you.
Okay.
And you were really torn up about it.
Whatever makes you feel better, sweetheart.
Fathiers, the established order of things is not inevitable. The world can be changed, and even in a world saturated with decadence and greed, there are people who are eager for something better.
One world?
Really?
What?
Wow.
Is just the last nail in the coffin for any appeal that a self-centered worldview might have held for Finn. For someone like Finn, who knows all too well the vast and merciless cruelty of the First Order,
You see,
cutting a deal
the
with them...
beam is red because it represents communism.
It's equally killing everyone.
Yes,
Oh.
it's equally killing everyone. Yeah.
Oh.
It's turning the unemployment to 0.
It's coarse and rough and gets everywhere.
Yeah.
It solved the gender pay gap.
Oh my god. Oh.
that puts the resistance in peril isn't just selfish, it's profoundly evil. In DJ, Finn sees a clear example of the kind of person his desire to run from trouble might cause him to become. At the same time, he's grown more confident that the fight isn't...
Why is that a threat? Why is that gun a threat?
Yeah. Her armor's bulletproof or blaster proof.
In that movie, we didn't know. So.
But we know now.
Yeah.
So it's like, what? Why is that
Good
a threat?
work, Ryan.
Think about it.
By the time... So he could have shot both of them before they would be able to do anything.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Shoot me, I'm bulletproof, bitch.
Yeah.
Do it.
It might
Pussy.
kill you.
You see
So, see, well, I've actually got blaster-proof armor, so it's going to deflect off me and hit you in the face. Fucking stupid.
Got him.
which would have been a nice last resort, but
jokes.
She just did everything they wanted. Let's make the entire planet defenseless with this one code. You're like, really? That's amazing. Okay, thank you, crazy lady in the amazing armor.
Whoever was doing the security
can
for
hyperspace through the shield, why couldn't literally all the fleet just hyperspace through the shield?
And not only that, but manually. Like I'll just manually go from light speed to 0. Not using a computer. I'll just turn it off. Yeah, no problem. It's like, thanks, Han, you're amazing.
And they're aiming directly at the planet as well, not skimming the surface.
Right, yeah, I know.
So how the hell they don't just crash into the ground is beyond me.
Yeah,
like Han spent so much time just explaining like how this works and that calculations.
Why the hell did you do it without it being automated? You would have to literally have like light speed reactions. What?
It's like 300,000 miles per hour. It's like, yeah, that's nothing. No problem. I can do that. It's like, really?
It's 300,000 miles. Like, so hang on, how many is it?
Oh, wait a second. Sorry. In Star Wars,
speed of light is like per second, right?
Yeah, in Star Wars, light speed is something completely different than what we think of with light speed in like Star Trek or how we calculate it. So that would be even faster, like levels of magnitude faster. So whatever that is, I don't know.
But I think the speed of light in reality, it's about like 200,000 miles per second.
Yeah. It's
Skid says, why don't they hyperspace into the oscillator? And for any of you who don't remember, the oscillator is the thing that had to blow up on Starkiller Base.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Oh,
I used
so
to
you
mop
know
the floor
thing,
on the oscillator.
You know, okay, the oscillator is the thing that Poe flies into, and that's when he destroys it, it blows up Starkiller Base. That's the oscillator.
Chewier tells me you're looking for transit to the oscillator system. If it's a fast ship.
Kamikaze and X-Wing into the oscillator. Kaboom.
That's funny. You could just launch to any old ship at Starkiller Base, would bypass the shields, and blow it up. It's just like, why do you have shields? Like, what is this?
Shields are for losers anyway. Who needs a shield? You need 2 swords. Just ask Shadiversity. He told me that. No, I'm just kidding.
Blew up Starkiller Base, and he and Rose turned a stronghold of wealth and power upside down, even if just for a single night. On top of that, Finn finds the courage and strength to defeat one of the First Order's fiercest warriors. He's learned that
But he didn't have much choice
warrior.
there.
and that even when
The
things seem
fiercest
hopeless, there's
warriors.
no better place to be than beside his friends. So, at this point in the film, when Finn has killed
with his
Phasma
friends.
and escaped the command ship with Rose and BB-8, he's a changed person. No longer the man who wants...
Why is it okay for him to destroy what he hates, as in Phasma, here, but later on it's like, no, we can't kill what we hate. No.
How is he a changed person? Rose captures him and electrocutes him. Then they have an argument, and they start talking about whatever the plan is to shut down the process, and he goes along with it. That's it. Where's his
He's
moment?
wearing different clothes now. I guess that's changed.
I don't get it. What did he overcome to be a changed person? What problem?
Finn overcame his cowardice and his inability to belong to others. He failed to learn anything. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
either.
but it's good though. Like, you know what I mean? Just like you're just wrong. Like, it's good.
You think that on the ship he would have, when they figure out the plan, that's when he overcame his fear because he's going along with it. He's like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. All right, cool. It's like, yeah, you are, and he does it, and he goes along with the plan. So whether he gets captured or is about to be executed, he's still going along with the plan. He hasn't changed his mind. There's no like.
I'm sad that. Oh, sorry.
There's no opportunity for him to grow. He's just doing the thing they planned out. It's like, yeah, you're right. There's nothing else happening. There's no conflict.
I'm sad that I lack the ability to make up this bullshit.
Well, obviously they see Finn and Rose in a different light than we are. And I just can't identify the inner personality change that Finn is supposedly going through. I mean, you could say he's more heroic because he's fighting Phasma, but that whole scenario makes no sense. How they get to that point where they're at the other end of the hangar and they're coming at him, and then they're fighting, and he's not getting shot, even though there must be other stormtroopers around. We see them in the background. They're not shooting him. Rose is behind that crazy whatever platform. She's not getting shot at. It's like she's cover shooting. It's like, what is... I don't know. Like, it's just bizarre stuff is happening. That whole scene is just a mess after the ramming.
To run, he's ready to commit himself to the cause of the resistance and fight for the greater good, even if that means giving his own life in the process. He's grown a great deal, but his journey in this film isn't over.
No, he hasn't. Shut up.
Though he's free of the fears that weighed him down, Finn is still burdened by the First Order's training and conditioning. He still thinks like a stormtrooper. Keep in mind what he says after the rampage through Canto Bight.
It was worth it, though. To tear up that town, make him hurt.
The Stormtrooper's goal is not to preserve anything except the might of the Empire. And how is such an empire built up? By crushing any and all opposition, squeezing every drop of hope out of the galaxy.
That's a stretch, sir. That is just... He's thinking like a stormtrooper. Like, really? Make him hurt? He learned from being a janitor of the First Order how to make them hurt. By really scrubbing that toilet.
You see... Finn, his motivation was all about destruction because he was a stormtrooper. The motivation of Rose was that she wanted to free the animals because it's not about fighting what you hate. It's about saving what you love.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, theoretically, the motivation for the First Order is supposed to be, well, kind of in the name. It's order. You know, it's like having it's supposed to be basically by recreating the Empire and having order in the galaxy by having a authoritarian dictatorship create that order. Well, that's supposed to be, I guess, the idea. Well, you don't really see that in the sequel trilogy, but I feel like in the OT you kind of get this impression that the Empire is motivated by a sense of order, and order being really important.
Much more. Like, those were more easier to take seriously. This is just a fucking joke. Like, they are so chaotic. And the amount of destruction they do on this, the Republic is just laughable. Because in the OT, they destroyed the other one because that was the biggest opposition they had for the rebels. So they had to destroy it to give a scare for the universe, like the Republic, or like the Senate, more like, and that was like a tool to do that.
Yeah, there's no political intrigue. There's no political arguments. Like, oh, we just lost a solar system. There would be that representatives of that location would be, arguing, oh, we should probably stop the First Order. And there's nothing. There's no depth. There's no rally cry. It's just, nope, the resistance again.
They waited until the very last moment of Rise of Skywalker. That's how seriously it was taken.
But that made no sense either. That was just Lando running around and cajoling everyone.
Telling them, hey, come, and that's fine.
They should have went to Lando in Episode 7. It's like, forget Luke. Just go to Lando. He's got to be around here somewhere.
Yeah, in that sense, nobody fucking cared other than those kids and the remaining survivors of the Resistance about Luke. That's how little he mattered to people. But Lando, he the pansexual hero.
My God,
he fucked everyone, so he had his connections.
Everyone loves Lando. Yeah, he just gets everyone on his side. Brings the entire galaxy to Exegol.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
And then he, at some point, he got robot AIDS.
Oh.
By any
voice
necessary. That's not the way of the Resistance. The Rebels' goal is ultimately constructive, but Finn's life in the First Order has trained him to think in terms of destruction. Case in point,
as a janitor,
the victory Finn takes away from the bite is that he and Rose were able to tear a gash through a town built on ill-gotten wealth.
Ill-gotten?
Rose, on the other hand, is happiest that they freed the...
How is it ill-gotten wealth? They sell to everyone.
This is so...
Yeah, exactly. That's the funny part.
So they can
Fuck
sell...
moral neutrality.
You're either with us or against us.
I'm getting a copyright audio detection. I was like, really?
For what?
I have no idea.
The Resistance theme, probably, because he's got it in the background.
Are you kidding?
Dun, 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 dun,
I
dun,
couldn't even hear that.
That one.
He's so soft-spoken, I could barely hear what he's saying. Holy crap, I wasn't even aware of that.
The stream is still up, at least.
Yeah, no, it's up, but you get these yellow warning signs like, what the hell?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Warning. Warning.
Yeah. It's like, copyright
You're infringing
material.
upon property.
Yeah.
Good evening.
Bad video essay.
Oh, hey, voice. How's it going?
I'm very late, but I'm good.
All right. Good to hear.
Well, voice is never late or early. He arrives exactly when he needs to.
That's good, because we're almost done, so...
Shit. Okay, next time I'll arrive exactly when I need to, slightly
Not exactly when we mean to.
Exactly when you need me.
Okay.
But, well, I'm here now. Might as well finish off on a high.
Right.
Now it's worth it.
You lie. You said you're nearly finished. You've still got 3 minutes to go. That's like an hour of Smudcast time.
9 hours.
Orders a retreat. Finn is still in the mindset of a stormtrooper. He's trying to defend his friends, yes, but he's so determined to destroy the evil.
He's trying to get himself killed.
That he loses sight of everything else, charging ahead on a suicide mission that might not even work. And when Rose saves his life, knocking him out of the beam's path, she also forces him to break away from his self-destructive mentality.
I like how he paints that as if that's actually how a stormtrooper thinks. I'm going to kill myself. Is that how a stormtrooper thinks? I don't know. We've never explored it. That was the opportunity with Finn that we missed.
So it's better to guarantee that it won't work
than
try?
Here's the thing. Him killing himself would have guaranteed the Resistance's safety for at least a little while.
Yeah, but she's using suicide to stop suicide. It's kind of this bizarre... Like, she's doing the same thing he's doing.
What happened if Finn actually died in that crash?
I think the cannon would break and therefore not work, and so the doors to the little base they were hiding in would stay shut for a little while longer.
Yeah.
You know, until the Until the First Order pulled a new gadget out of their ass that can achieve the exact same thing.
But these things are going faster than a car, and obviously, when a car crashes, all that force goes into you when you crash into the ground. All that.
Oh yeah, Finn would be paced.
And there's no airbags in these. There's
so
no,
it quite possibly could have killed them both. What would have happened if, I don't know, she accidentally killed Finn? It's like, oh, I didn't save him. I actually killed him, and he died from nothing.
Oh shit, I killed him.
They both die, and the laser still goes off.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to imagine, like, the First Order troopers that, like, sitting there. It's like, what just happened? I don't know, but we're about to storm the base. I guess that was lucky.
Somebody needs to make an edit of the bit in Spider-Man and the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man where Norman Osborn, I think he's taking off the mask and he's like he says "oh," and then the glider comes from behind.
Yeah,
like, you need to make an edit of that where he's like "oh," and it's just Rose. It's just like Rose like crashing into it.
Am I doing that?
I think that'd be a funny edit.
Yeah, this is kind of like the Yandere love interest. She's so crazy
Message coming in
that she'll sacrifice herself to kill him because she gets to kill him because I love him the most or whatever nonsense. And for some reason they don't die. Like this should have been like collision. Everyone just rolls over and they get squished by whatever force they were traveling at. It's just like, yeah, no, we can't do that. We need the character still, so she can say a thing. It's just silly. It's just this series of events that don't add up to much. So characters can have their moment to say something, which is some pontification about whatever the hell Rose is trying to get at. I don't even remember what the target. What was her target? Like saving what you love. Like what are you saving, Rose? Like what is it Finn? Do you admire him? I thought you didn't like him that much. Like what? Did you mind?
I thought you called him a coward.
But it's weird because it was purely self-sacrificial. He wasn't destroying people. It was an object. So.
And for some reason, he wasn't getting shot down. Like he's the only target on a straight plane. He's not bobbing left and right. He's just going straight at the beam, and no one's shooting him down. You're like, okay, why? There's no other targets. All the other what are they? AT-ATs, whatever. They have no other targets except for Finn, and they just can't shoot him.
Yeah, he's like the most obvious target in history.
He is literally going down the barrel of a giant cannon.
I mean, they even have like the salt being whipped up, leaving a big red mark for them to track Finn's trajectory.
Yeah,
and they still don't manage to hit him.
Couldn't do it. And even if he was successful in ramming into that giant whatever. First off, the melting or whatever will slow him down a bit. Maybe he'd crack one of the lenses on that giant thing. I don't think it would cause a huge explosion. It would just, you would see some debris. But we're talking about a cannon that's already firing, where there is kinetic energy and thermal energy and whatever other optical force is coming out of that laser. So it's like it's going the opposite direction. So you already have this like opposing force, right? So it'll slow him down in some fashion, as opposed to like two vehicles coming in opposite directions. Like that would be much more deadly. This is literally a gun.
Brian Johnson thinking about those things.
Well, nice. If you're melting before you get your target halfway, you're like, okay, this is probably not going to be very effective.
This ain't going to work.
Yeah, it's just going to be like, bleh. He's going to get really, really hot and just melt and just hit this glass and just this big hot mass of material. Might crack a glass, might crack some. Like, this is a huge cannon. Like, it takes so long to get wherever it needs to go. It's probably not going to move very far if it gets hit by a rickety old little whatever this speeder thing is. Anyway, maybe if there was like bombs on the speeder, that'd be like, okay, fine. But no. Joe Crazy, the New Republic's first mistake was thinking they wouldn't need a standing army in a generally unstable universe. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing
that's
there.
Their first mistake.
They don't have anything. There's no mention of anything they have. It's just second-hand old X-wing parts and whatever A-wings and whatever those crazy bombers were. I don't even know what those are from. So no, there's just some random ships, some capital ships here and there. That's about it. But those are not the Republic. That's just the rebellion, folks. Why they use the rebellion, I don't know. Yeah.
Why the resistance fight is so important. Its goal is not just to eradicate the bad, but to create something better.
That's how we're gonna win.
You kind of have to eradicate the bad first.
Saving what we love.
Yeah, don't
you understand
don't destroy the cancer that's killing you. Just save the bit that isn't cancer.
You understand that if I have a termite infection, me putting in a lovely new kitchen doesn't stop the termite infection.
You sure?
I don't think so. I don't know.
All right, I have to go then. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
All right, he's going to have some summary that we just completely missed over.
Summary. Let's go.
A summary.
The theme of protecting the light runs throughout The Last Jedi.
Theme.
His character arc centers
themes.
around his struggle to be the best leader he can, clashing with Leia and Holdo over how the Resistance can survive and keep the fires of rebellion burning.
Yeah, but he was fucking right the entire time.
Jedi Order, and she has to keep its teaching safe.
Her entire plan depends on the fact that they never look outside of their
Who
window.
wants to wipe the Jedi out so that the dark side can reign. The idea that fostering goodness is more important than simply destroying evil is not only central to this story, it's classic Star Wars.
Classic.
Fuck off, dude.
Classic.
In their final battle. Doing
This is
so might have been
such
easier than the alternative.
Dishonest shit.
How is it? Wait, Luke never wanted to destroy his father.
It's a very different context, too.
He wanted to save
I'll
his
always join you.
Yeah. Boy.
This is not equivalent at all. This is so, like,
Now,
absurdly dumb.
if he was comparing Luke to Rey and Rey didn't want to kill Kylo or join Kylo, it's like, okay, you got something there. But I don't... You're telling me she didn't want to stop Snoke? She wanted to kill Snoke several times. Kylo killed Snoke.
You killed Star Wars.
But he's literally, like, destroying a weapon isn't killing anyone. This
Apart
is
from
not
himself.
like sparing someone from killing them versus sacrificing yourself to destroy an object.
It's like a miniature Death Star for Finn because he's not cool enough to,
to get a real Death Star.
Yes. And his guns don't work because they got melted. Like, oh.
Knew finding his father was more important than wiping him out.
Lame.
It's a bit difficult at this point to assess Finn's character.
How are you gonna find the humanity in a fucking laser that's gonna destroy a big wall? Like what? Huh?
Lasers have feelings too.
I lost what he's trying to tell. I was like, what is he on about?
Yeah, it's a weird card. Like, it's unrelated to what happened before.
I had no idea Saying What You Love was part of the original trilogy. I'm like, wow, really?
Save what you hate, destroy what you love. Complete your training and kill yourself.
Oh.
Finn's character are old because, well, it's not over yet. We're only 2/3 of the way through his story, and I'm sure people know at this point how it's going to end. Still, I imagine big things are in store for him. In the
I'm
Force
sure
Awakens,
it's a
Finn
good
took his
movie.
first steps toward the light, casting off his stormtrooper armor and fighting to save his friend from the clutches of evil. In The Last Jedi, he committed himself to the cause of the Resistance, overcoming his fears and breaking free of the First Order's lingering influence.
Whoa. That's so
so awesome.
Proven that he has great strength of character and
He overcame.
With qualities like those, he just might be a true rebel hero in the making.
He overcame.
You were always
Pukes.
God, it's so lame.
Okay. Oh boy.
Why were they going for like the whole rebels thing in like TLJ? Because they keep mixing it up several times. They call the resistance rebels.
I don't know.
Were they trying to say, oh, well, they're now the rebels and no longer the resistance, but in the next film they just keep calling them resistance?
What are they rebelling against?
The First Order, because somehow the First Order have risen to power and now control the galaxy.
Well,
in a single day.
Explain how. Yeah, how the hell in a single day have they taken over the entire galaxy? No one did anything to stop them. The entire, New Republic Navy, every New Republic planet was in one solar system on 5 planets.
Yes, it was all said for last.
It never comes up again.
There aren't even criminal factions that try to take advantage of the power vacuum, and the First Order have to deal with that. There's nothing. Not even
they just instantly have complete control over the entire galaxy.
It was kind of annoying how they kept having bigger and bigger ships. Like we saw the first dreadnought with the 2 giant pulse cannons. That gets destroyed.
It's like a giant pizza slice.
Yeah, and then we get this, massive, ridiculously gigantic spaceship. And you're like, okay, why do we need this in this story? Like the other one was a fleet killer. What the hell is that thing? A planet killer?
A galaxy-killing weapon.
It's like they have all this power, all this military might. It's like, what? How are you going to stop these? I know. I'll ram something into it at light speed. Like, oh, that's a thing.
Go.
Fantastic.
I guess that works.
We never thought of that before. Why didn't we think of that like 30 years ago? I don't know.
Everything is solved in this film by just hitting something into something else. If it's not Finn crashing into a laser, then it's Holdo plowing into another ship at hyperspace.
Oh. Anyway, I didn't quite listen or hear the ballad or the ballad that was Finn and Rose. I don't know where he was going with this. I mean, it's a rough take anyway to try and understand what he was saying. So to say that Finn had some character growth, I'm like, you could argue that because he does make a choice to sacrifice himself, and that's internal. So you say, all right, that's psychological. That growth did happen, but the effects are pointless because it doesn't happen. It doesn't have any impact on the reality of the setting or the plot. Just Finn or Rose just sort of refreshes that and says, no, doesn't matter. So it's kind of like you're leading up to something. You're getting to the cliff. You're about to jump. It's like, nope, not going to do it. Everything's leading to that cliff though, and just doesn't allow you to do it. I don't know. I don't see that as a very effective form of storytelling for character growth, for character development. The plot for Finn and Rose, or what they went on, was not told particularly clearly. Why they had all these other messages in there, just for the DJ character to. What?
Sorry.
Are you okay?
I just got shot in a video game.
Oh. That sounds more exciting than this video. Oh my god.
It's definitely more exciting.
Yeah, I bet. So, thanks guys. That was a full house for a really strange take on Finn and a little bit of Rose. But TLJ never gets old. It's always something to
Ages like vomit.
Ages like wine that's been left out in the oxygen.
Which is like vinegar at that point. So, yeah, it's like bad vinegar. So thank you guys for tuning in. I do appreciate the time and effort to take away your Saturdays, just because, well, I don't know what you're doing these days in your days of your life, but it's always nice to chill out and hang out and talk about a topic we love. And I've had some wonderful whiskey tonight, so I'm feeling very good.
Nice.
Yeah. So I'm going to go recommend that. It's called Monkey Shoulder. Fantastic.
Ah, yeah, I know that one.
Really? It's very good. For the price, for what you get, it's bang for your buck. It's fantastic.
Yes. This stream brought to you by Monkey Shoulder.
Oh, I wish. I would sell that drink. It is very
This
good.
stream brought to you by my desire for suicide.
Well, that comes free.
Yeah. So thank you, Dollface and Glib and Mark and Shiny. Always nice to see you. And Voice, that was unexpected. So thank you for tuning in. Always appreciate it.
Surprised to be sure, but a welcome one.
Yeah.
I will be sure to tune in slightly earlier next time.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. And we will talk to you real soon tomorrow. I don't know what we're up to, but we'll find out with the morning nonsense or later another Smudcast. Keep the suggestions coming. We've always got more. I'll be refreshing the list tomorrow morning as well. And keep on voting. We've got some shorts to do. And it is the month of February, so we have 2 special YouTubers. That's Maggie May and Renegade Cat.
Oh, no.
So I got to ask Dunn for Maggie May. And I don't know who wants to vote for... I don't know. I'll leave it to Glib. I think he's the political maestro here.
No, I don't want to be left to anything. Just leave me alone.
Give me something for the pain, let me die.
Yes, I was born in the cringe.
Oh, God. All right.
Molded by. You merely adopted the cringe.
So thank you. Good evening. Have yourself a great night. Bye-bye now.